Lena Carter stood outside Maple Grove Residences, clutching a folder of papers and a set of worn brass keys. It was her first time living alone. A scholarship had brought her to a prestigious university in the city, and the budget-friendly rent on this unit sealed the deal. Apartment 313. Top floor, clean, quiet, a little too cheap for its size. Probably because of the weird number, the leasing agent had laughed awkwardly. Superstitions and all that. The elevator made a slow, moaning rise to the third floor. The hallway smelled sterile. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead, buzzing faintly. Doors lined both sides, identical and silent. She stopped at 313. But Elena didn't believe in that stuff. The key turned smoothly in the lock. The door opened. Inside, everything was neat. A simple studio. White walls, pale hardwood floor, tiny kitchen, one large window with rusted blinds. Cold, still air greeted her like a whisper. She stepped inside. The door shut behind her with a soft click. There was no furniture, just a faint outline on the floor where a carpet might have been. A strange, stale scent lingered, like dust, old flowers, and something else she couldn't place. But Elena, tired and unfazed, opened her suitcase and got to work. Mattress on the floor, books stacked in neat piles, laptop on a crate. Done. At night, she cooked noodles, scrolled through her phone, and played lo-fi music. The place was fine. Not on the door. On the wall. 3 slow taps. Tap, tap, tap. She held her breath. Nothing followed. No voices, no footsteps, just silence. Maybe the neighbor? She turned over and went back to sleep. Days passed. Classes began. Elena quickly fell into routine. Except the knocking returned. Always at night. Always at 3:13 a.m. Sometimes the haps were louder. Sometimes softer. Sometimes on the wall. Sometimes from inside the closet. She recorded it one night. Playback revealed. Nothing. Just silence. But when she listened closely, there was something underneath. Barely audible, almost like breathing or whispers. She amplified the sound, replayed it, over and over. A voice. Hoarse. Faint. Elena. She dropped the phone. Week 2. Elena brought home a mirror she bought secondhand. She hung it on the wall facing her bed. That night, she dreamt of a woman standing in that same spot, staring at her. Pale, hair matted, eyes black and sunken. Elena woke up gasping. She turned on the light and glanced at the mirror. It was fine, just her reflection. Except, was it? For half a second, she thought her reflection had smiled when she hadn't. Elena tried asking around. The woman next door, Mrs. Flores, shook her head at the mention of apartment 313. That apartment? It should be empty. But I live there. No, sweetie, you shouldn't. Mrs. Flores' face was pale. She closed the door. It was a rainy Friday night. Elena was cleaning the kitchen when she noticed a floorboard near the fridge was slightly raised. She pried it open. Inside there was a box, dusty, wrapped in red cloth. Inside the box, a porcelain doll with a cracked face, a photo of a girl who looked eerily like Elena, a journal. She opened the journal. Day 17. The whispering won't stop. She calls my name. She mimics my voice. I don't think she wants me to leave. Day 23. I looked into the mirror. She looked back. But it wasn't me. The last entry. Day 31. I tried to leave. She followed. She lives in the walls, in the glass. She says I belong to her now. If you're reading this, get out, before she finds a way into you. Elena's hands were shaking. The photo, the girl, same face, same eyes. Was this real? She whispered, "Who are you?" The reflection stared, then it blinked. But Elena didn't. Elena could feel it now. The air wasn't still anymore. It moved. She sat at her desk with the cracked porcelain doll in front of her. Its painted eyes seemed to follow her, sideways, then slightly upward, as if someone behind her was moving too. But each time she turned around, the apartment was empty. Empty, but not quiet. It started as a scratch behind the walls, then under the floor, then from inside the closet, at exactly 3:13 a.m. every night. At first she thought it was rats, but rats don't whisper your name, and they certainly don't sound like you. Elena, Elena. Soft, delicate mimicry so perfect it made her skin crawl, because it was her voice. She spent the night reading every page of the journal. Every entry sounded more unhinged than the last. She can't cross fully, not unless the mirror breaks. When you see her behind you, it's already too late. Elena dropped the journal, her hands trembling. She looked at the mirror across the room. It was shaking, subtly, just enough. A spiderweb crack had formed in the corner. She woke up one day and couldn't remember what she'd done the previous evening. There were dishes in the sink she didn't remember using. A voice message to her mother she had no memory of recording, just her voice saying, "Everything's fine. I'm happy here." Except it wasn't her voice. Not really. She saw Mrs. Flores in the hallway. "Elena?" she whispered, eyes wide. "You're not her," the old woman said, stepping back. "That thing tried before," and she ran back into her apartment, bolting the door. Desperate, Elena tried to cover the mirror with a cloth. It burned her hand. Blisters rose where the glass had touched her. She tried to throw it out. The mirror was back on the wall the next morning, exactly where it had been, her reflection looking just a little off. She put her hand up. The reflection was delayed. Half a second, just enough to make her scream. Her best friend, Ava, video called her that evening. "Girl, you look pale. You okay?" Elena nodded, barely smiling. Ava frowned. "Wait. Turn the camera around. What was that behind you?" Elena turned. No one. But Ava had already ended the call. That night, the power went out at exactly 3:13 a.m. The air turned ice cold. The window blinds fluttered though everything was shut. The mirror began to hum, low and guttural, like it was holding something alive inside. She grabbed the porcelain doll and threw it at the glass. It shattered, and from the shards something stepped out. It looked like her, but twisted, off, like a wax figure warmed and reshaped. A smile too wide, movements too smooth. Same eyes, same lips, same body. And her eyes, black, bottomless. "You let me in," the reflection said. Voice like Elena's, only hollow, echoing. Elena stumbled back, heart thudding. "You don't belong here anymore. You've served your purpose." The lights flickered violently. Elena tried to run, but her body felt heavy, like it wasn't hers anymore. Her limbs slowed, breath stilled. The figure stepped forward, into her skin. Not possessing her, replacing her. She saw her own body blink, saw her own mouth smirk, saw herself walk toward the mirror and touch the surface. Her soul, trapped in the mirror now, watched as the creature wore her skin like a perfectly tailored dress. The next day, Elena's phone buzzed. She posted on her socials, went to class, called her mother, smiled at Ava. No one noticed anything. Except when she passed a mirror, her reflection didn't follow. Inside the mirror, the real Elena screamed, but no one could hear. The mirror sat quietly in apartment 313, now fully repaired, waiting. And deep within it, another reflection blinked. A new prisoner behind glass, while the monster walked free.